But now they compare when I say the ludicrous. They making it they newest post. Seems to be a new approach. Okay, Kevin about to do it big. Look in the mirror and I barely know who he is. But I trust him though, told him, yo, I'm riding with you. You don't seem to have it all, but hey, go on, do what you do. Like, I'ma keep it 100. This thing I know it is true. And that's that you can't figure out in the world how you gonna lose. For that reason alone, I continue walking with you. And that is all I know to do. And I truly don't have a clue. If I speak up, I'll just be killed. And I'll be one less when the president's stupid, rich and the country's in dumb debt. It's clear they were instrumental in orchestrating a tune that rocked us to sleep for the Trump pet. So I march to the beat of my own drum in harmony. They try to hold me down with their whole thumb, harming me. Give me hell, I give it back like it came with a warranty. I'm sick, so I give them a dose of their own pharmacy. They stab snakes.
What's going on, everybody? We're just gonna get a moment to get the page set up here real quick. Give me a second. Let everybody get in. I do apologize, I'm a little bit late with the setup. Just trying to make sure we get everything set up here. Just want to say hello to everyone. Nathaniel, we got, let's see, Miss Collins in the building. How you doing? All right, so we got Y people as always. Let's see here. We got TJ. All right, Raina. Carnetta. So what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm gonna try to switch it up just a little bit because I've been neglecting the chat on Facebook. So you know, we have people commenting on Facebook, and I kind of been neglecting them. So I'm gonna try to keep up with both chats tonight. Lee Sean, the guy just does an awesome job of going back and forth from the Facebook chat to the YouTube chat, and keeping dialogue with the people. And if someone has a question on Facebook, he transitions that question over to the YouTube chat, which my focus is emphasized on the YouTube chat. So I'm gonna try to kind of alternate between the two tonight. Just want to give a real quick shout out to, there was a brother in the chat in Facebook last week, just constant commentary, good comments. The brother's name is Jermaine Jackson Sr. Just commend you, brother, on the commentary with the chat last week on Facebook. So, but we're gonna try to keep up with both of those tonight. So we're just gonna let y'all kind of listen to Awoke, and while I get everything set up, say hello to a few more people in here. Crystal, Jerry. Hello, Jerry. I read your question. I know you sent me a message on my inbox. I do apologize. I've been extremely busy. I got midterms with the real estate and just, life. The kid got to eat. You know what I mean? So definitely meant to. I do apologize for not responding to your question, but I did do a little bit of research, and I'll kind of respond to you regarding your question that you sent to my inbox. So I just want to know I didn't forget about you, okay? So I just want to continue to say hello to everybody. Hello, Trish. Thank you for supporting Queen, Des, Mark, Classic. Let's see who else we got in here. All right, Josiah. Okay. Karima. All right. There you go. Reverend Dollar. B Green in the building. Andre, man, with his crazy self. All right, man. So let me get my Facebook chat open so we can kind of communicate with the people. So the title of the show tonight is basically we can't solve our problems with prayer. We can't pray our problems away. So that's the title of the show. We cannot pray our problems away. We need action. You have to do something. And so I'm going to touch on that, but I'm also going to touch on a few other things prior to going into prayer. And of course, we're going to kind of go into the book and see what the book has to say on the subject. And I'm going to make some common sense points. But with prayer, it's really not too much to make common sense of. You pray for something, 9 times out of 10 it doesn't happen. So it kind of just proves to you that there's no entity there. Not going to go into the deep stuff, and I just want to point out something while this is on my mind. Concerning like deep topics, I like to stay on the surface, and the reason why I stay on the surface, give me a moment, let me. I forgot that music is playing in the background. So, the reason I stay on the surface is because everyone's on the surface. I don't. It's not that I have the ability, and again, I'm not defending myself. It's not that I don't have the ability to go deep, because we all do. I can read information, I can process it, I can analyze it, and I can present it to you with the best of them. So, but I like to stay on the surface because everyone is on the surface. Anyone willing to go deep into religion, deep into history, you pretty much are going to study yourself out of it. So I don't even have to make points with you. So if you have the initiative to study and to read and to learn about your religion, one day the light bulb is going to turn on, and you're not going to have to listen to anything a person like me has to say. Because you're going to pretty much study yourself out of it. Okay. And if you're a person that uses logic, reason, and common sense, you'll just wake up on your own. So I like to stay on the surface. I don't like to go deep into just to kind of point out some of the things that our brother Jermaine was emphasizing in the chat on Facebook last week. He's talking about the chakras, and I understand all that. I understand, the 7 days, is representative of the 7 chakras. I don't go into all of the, I guess, the metaphors. If you're looking at the Bible metaphorically, of course, there's going to be hidden meanings and hidden messages, written within this literature. The numerology, the 144,666, equates to 9. 144,000 equates to 9. It's like any of us who are well read is going to understand that, but the masses of the people are on the surface level. So I like to make common sense, simple arguments that the average person is going to be able to understand, because when you go to church, they're not talking to you about chakras. They're not talking to you about these deep things. So they're keeping it surface level. You hear the same scriptures over and over again. So if I can point out to you that when the preacher says no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and I'll point out throughout history how weapons formed against religious people have prospered. The Dylan Roof incident, that weapon prospered. It didn't jam. It didn't malfunction. It did what it was supposed to do. So if I can make these points and you get to apply common sense to these things, it doesn't make sense anymore. So when you go back to church and you hear these verses over and over again, they don't hold the same weight. They don't hold the same power. So that's the perspective that I'm coming from. So I just want to kind of point that out, and let me get my chat and everything set up here so we can kind of get into this, and then we can kind of get this thing started. I want to get my chat up. What's going on, Leishan? Man, Charles, how you doing, brother? Thanks for the donation. And then we're also going to point out again, if you're new to the platform, if you're new to the show, let's go ahead and get everything shared up. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're here for the first time. We're definitely going to go into, I guess, some sensitive topics. And the reason why I wanted to emphasize on prayer tonight is because I was having a conversation with a friend, and we was discussing, just the family dynamic in the black community is volatile, is fragile, and most times is a mess. Okay, so just the relationship with your parents, with your siblings, with your relatives. These relationships are either non-existent or they're very toxic. So we was just discussing some issues, and some of the family was saying we need prayer. We need to pray on it. So prayer was not going to resolve any of these issues, within this family that has lingered for years and years and years. The only thing that was going to solve it is for someone to be willing to take the first step and says, look, I'm willing to have a conversation with you. I'm willing to sit down with you, and I'm willing to talk these issues out and see if we can come to some type of resolution. So that is what prompted me to go into prayer, because we cannot, we cannot wait on a savior, to save us. We cannot wait on issues to just resolve themselves. One thing that we cannot do, we cannot live an unproductive life and just sprinkle Jesus on the issue. Sprinkle Jesus on all the horrible things that we've done in our lives, and then hope that that's going to fix it. No, there has to be some work that needs to be put in. There has to be some retribution. So I'm going to pinpoint a lot of those things. I'm going to talk about some things, and I'm just going to put everything out there. So hopefully the information that I put forth can help someone, give someone the courage to talk about certain things that has happened to them, because we got a lot of secrets, man. We have a lot of skeletons in the closet. So, and it's not whether it be something you did or whether it be something someone did to you. People are holding on to things. Okay, and when we hold on to things, we either internalize that, and we know what happens when you internalize, issues and trauma. You either, commit suicide. You end up just having this, drug abuse. So it is a result of a lot of those things. So, and then of course, you have the external where you may be angry. You may just project your aggression and your anger on others. So those things are not going to be prayed away. Okay, so we are constantly being bombarded with trauma and untreated trauma, and that's a big issue in our community. And religion is something that I guess perpetuates that, because it doesn't solve the problem when you just go to your church and you pray about it. But the pastor or the pastor counsels you, and he counsels you with the Bible. Okay, he doesn't use any therapy techniques, because he's not trained in that area. He's not a professional. He's not a psychologist. In some cases we do need psychiatric help. He's not. That's not his field. So he's telling you, he's giving you some Bible scriptures, and you have real problems, real issues that need that require professional help if you're going to overcome these things. So that's what we want to talk about tonight. We cannot pray our problems away. Okay, so give me a moment to get everything set up, y'all. Let y'all rock out a little bit more while I get this chat set up.
If I speak up, I'll just be killed, and I'll be one less when the president's stupid, rich, and the country's in dumb debt. It's clear they were instrumental in orchestrating a tune to rock us to sleep for the Trump pet. So I march to the beat of my own drum in harmony. They try to hold me down with their whole thumb, harming me. Give me hell, I give it back like it came with a warranty. I'm sick, so I give them a dose of their own pharmacy. They stab snakes. It's written on the wall, Caduceus. We were there first. It's written on the wall. Could you see us? They say no one knows. Too late to the party, I suppose, but why they pharaohs look like Owen Wilson? Broken nose, they lie, they got you hook, line, and sinker. That's real power. I pass on my passion when I pass on. That's willpower. Know this. You spinning your wheels trying to stop me. This is not my first time around. Watch me. I was James Brown in my past life. This is true. Papa's got a brand new bag, but with slicker moves. Mansa Musa a rap, I'm giving Jews, but y'all stay ducking the gold, Mr. Scrooge, I've been lied to, surrounded by faux pas. From my deadbeat daddy to the founding fathers, the faux pas. Had me praying to Sky Daddy. Learned there was no God, so I guess that makes Yahweh, Another faux pas, my life's a joke. I learned while I was smoke from the burning bush when I ended.
Alright, man, we almost set up here. Alright, so what's going on, everybody? I see you in the chat. Okay, so we got the chat up here. Alright, let me get that thing muted real quick. Okay, alright, so Claudia, how you doing? Alright, so we got the Facebook chat up here. We got Claudia, Sylvia, Anthony. Let's see, Jermaine's back in the chat. What's going on, my man? How you doing? All right, so we got the God, Jermaine, back in the chat. I apologize for the audio. Let's see, Tim, Rosanna, Brewer, how you doing? Katrina, Tom. All right, Queenie. Okay, so if I missed anybody, I do apologize. Tim, Dorian, All right, so we got Jessica coming in. Okay, so as everybody continues to come in, okay, we'll just kind of get into it. Gotta give you the information real quick on how we can definitely reach out to our brother and help and continue to support him. So again, to October 31st, we still got the raffle going on that's being conducted by Tamasha Hunter and Vanessa Dixon. $5 to get you one entry, $10 to get you three. That's going to continue until October 31st. So you still have time to enter into that raffle for that royal Mama Boo basket with the Egyptian relaxation goodies in there. Your candles, your bubble bombs. I don't know what that is. I guess you put it in, you throw it in the tub with you and have your water smelling all good, you know. So you can enter into that raffle. The value of that is $115. Okay, so what you want to do is give a donation to our brother on Cashapp, okay, which is $Kevin D. Wesley 1. PayPal is going to be Kevin Wesley 1. So if you make the PayPal or the Cash App donation, you're just going to screenshot that, and then you're going to search for the raffle information in the Kevin Wesley forum or the group on Facebook, and then you post that, and then you'll be entered into that raffle. GoFundMe, help defeat stomach cancer. Of course, you can give to our brother there. Again, Patreon, recurring donation, $2 is the minimum, goes up from there. And then we have bdevolution.org, where you can go get your gear, your backpacks, your sweatshirts and hoodies with the Born Winners logo, and then also the Fear No God, which is one of my favorites. Too Awoke, of course, is on iTunes. Download that. That's the track. That's the song that you heard coming in if you was with us when the video, when the stream started. Okay, so just touching on that again. My name is Ricky Swink. I know y'all. Some people see me like, who is this dude? Where's Kevin? Okay, Kevin is still recuperating. Okay, I didn't expect to be doing this long, but I can tell you that I will continue to do it as long as our brother needs for me to do it. So he's still recuperating. He's getting stronger. So he's kind of dealing with the whole operation thing. It's kind of sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. So as long as he needs for me to fill in for him, and as long as you guys continue to enjoy the content that I bring, I'm going to continue to do this. Okay. Of course, I never pretend to know everything, but I'm just a thinking person. And I'm just trying to do what I can do to help, turn that light bulb on for some of us. Okay. So because some of us, the light bulb is already on, but some of us, we still need a little more help with that. My YouTube page is begging, the number 4, change, subscribe, a lot of good videos there. At least I think so, because I made them, of course. Again, just to point out some other things, because as Kevin says, a candle does not lose its flame by lighting another. So we always want to support our family, people out here doing business, any type of publicity that we can give them to push their business forth. The shirt that I have on, the only guys that we need are each other, and the only guy that I need is you. This shirt was designed and made by our sister, Anitra Ray Dotson. Her site is earthheartglobal.com. She has a lot of great merchandise, shirts on there, information about going vegan. So just check out her website and her Facebook page there. Okay, so with the introduction, okay, and kind of getting into this thing, what I want to talk about before we get into we cannot pray our problems away. So I'm gonna touch on some personal issues that I experienced, and the only reason why I'm touching on this because I do have the courage to talk about things that transpired in my life and things that did affect me personally. And some of these things are very shameful for grown men, to discuss. So I'm going to go into some of those things. I'm also going to talk about a little bit about the relationship with my mother. And I just want to actually give a shout out to Plump, it's that Southern tongue, Plump Queen, okay, TV, Amp TV. She, Amperation TV. She actually indicated Timora. She did a stream this weekend on Friday talking about the same thing, and I actually had wrote this up on Monday or Tuesday, and then when I saw her stream, I was like, see, we be on the same frequency with this information. So she actually did a stream regarding, I guess she was going into the dynamic between the relationship of some characters on a TV show, and talking about how the mom and the daughter was just, at odds with one another. And she also indicated some things of how, sometimes it's just not the right time to have children. Okay. You get into this situation, you get pregnant, and because sometimes we're programmed with religion, we don't believe in abortion because we believe that that's killing. Okay, so in your belief system, a sin is actually what caused the pregnancy. I guess if you was fornicating, so you fornicated, which is the sin according to your book, and now you don't want to commit another sin, because you feel like abortion is murder. But again, the sister pointed out that with situations where people don't want to have children, you bring a child into the world, that you're not equipped mentally to care for. So it's almost like and again, I'm not equating having a puppy to a baby. That's totally different. But it's like you get a puppy or you get a pet, right? And the idea of having a pet is great, okay. But when you get the little puppy, he cute. Oh, he running around the house. He just the cutest little thing. But then like he starts peeing and pooping all over the house and all over your carpet. You got, first couple times you clean it up, it's no big deal. It's your little puppy. But like he won't stop pooping and peeing in the house. So now this little puppy that's so cute and so adorable, it's like getting on your nerves. You tired of cleaning up after this puppy. So some people have the patience to deal with that. Some people don't. Okay, so you toss the little puppy out. Now he's a stray. Okay, so I just equate that to how many stray humans do we have walking around? Okay, so how many children do we have that are like strays? Okay, that are like, people just throw them away. Okay, or people just bring them into the world not really wanting that child, and end up just no development. They don't nourish the child. They don't give the child what it needs to be successful. And these are some of the things that I'm going to actually point out. So through our religious program, and then also to make another point with that, we in this book it says be fruitful and multiply. Okay, and then some of our religious teachings have us not wanting to use birth control. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we're already at the bottom economically, okay? You already know your financial situation, and you have this huge family because you don't believe in birth control. You because of this book, you don't believe in abortion. So now you have all of these children, and in a lot of cases they have different fathers or whatever, just all these mixed and blended families, and you don't exercise common sense and say maybe this is not the right time for me to have this child, or maybe I should use birth control because I only make $40,000 a year or $70,000, however much you make. You got a family of 5 though. You see what I'm saying? So you can't pay for nobody to go to college. You can't, you see what I'm saying? So the things that you need, your child needs to be successful in the world, you're ill-equipped to provide that child with these things because you thinking that God is going to provide, and it never does. So we have to be a little more strategic with our planning in regards to family. We just can't just have families and then just be like, okay, we're gonna figure it out. And that's how most of us we do it. My mother didn't have a plan for my life. So I'm gonna kind of get off that, and I'm actually go into the dynamic of the relationship with my mother. This book makes it okay for you to have a broken family, and that's why a lot of our families are broken, because we're reading this book, and in this book, Jesus says that he says you're gonna have foes are gonna be those of your household. Okay, so you got foes in your house, and a lot of us know you get into it with your siblings, you into it with family members. So when you read that verse, it makes it true. Okay, or when we are parents, we're like, just like I had a religious aunt. She was super religious, okay? You had to go to church if you lived in her house, okay? So you could, if you didn't go to church, you couldn't live with her. So she says, her and her house, they're going to serve the Lord, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so if you didn't go to church, you couldn't stay there. Okay, some parents kick their children out the house because of religious reasons. So when you read this verse that says there's going to be foes in your household, and then Jesus makes the point. He says, anyone who will love their mother, their father, or their son or their daughter more than they love me is not worthy of me. Okay, we have to be honest. Okay, like when I was a Bible believer, I had trouble with this, and this is before I had a family. Okay, before I had my son, before I got married, I always had a problem with this, and I knew I would never be honest. Well, I would be honest, but I didn't believe in that, because I'm thinking to myself before I even have my son. Okay, how can I love a God, right, that I cannot see, I cannot hear, I don't even know if it's there or not, more than I love my wife? Okay, I'm like, man, my wife, I know how much I'm gonna love my wife, and this is before I even get married. I was like, man, I'm gonna love my wife. Me and my wife, we gonna do it. You understand? So, and then I'm thinking like how much I would love my child. Like, I'm like, I already know I'm gonna love my child. I'm gonna love, man, die. On some John Q with my child. If I have one kidney, but if my son needed it, he couldn't get a kidney from anywhere else, he got it. Like, not even thinking about it, just take my kidney, boom, you good. You know what I'm saying? Live your life. You see what I'm saying? So I already knew how much I loved my son. And I couldn't lie and say that I loved a God that I couldn't see, couldn't hear, couldn't talk to more than I love my son. And sometimes we just got to be honest, because that doesn't make sense. And when we say that we love a God more than we love our flesh and blood, I don't think we're really truly being honest. Okay. All right. So also, so what I want to talk about is the relationship that I have with my mother. Okay. I know in a few other streams and maybe some videos I've pointed out that I have basically my relationship with my mother is non-existent. But this is what I had to think about. Okay. I actually, the relationship with my mom is this. I had to think. It hurts me, okay, and this is painful for me, and this may be painful for a lot of other people who may be going through the same situation or who may have experienced this. It's painful for me to not love my mother, okay. I don't love my mom, and it's not because I'm just honest with my feelings, okay. I just, you know how people say, man, I love you, they just throw that word around loosely, and I don't, because I know what that means. Just like I don't throw the word hate around, because if I hate you, I know what that means. That means that I don't want to have anything to do with you. We probably, I don't really like anything that you are associated with, so I don't even think I've ever told anybody I hate them, because when I say that, I know what it means. Okay. So on the flip side, when I say I love you, I know what that means. So when someone says it to me, it means something different than when I say it to them. And I had to understand that growing up and becoming more mature. I had to understand. I was like, Rick, when they say they love you, it's not the same thing as when you say you love someone, because your love is something different than their love. Okay, so because that hurt me a lot in some earlier relationships, not intimate relationships, but just friendly relationships and just dealing with people in general, because people just throw that word love out there. But back to the situation with my mom. It hurts me when I see other people that have a good relationship with their mother. And the thing about it is, like, I'm a decent person. I don't pat myself on the back or anything like that. Like, I'm a pretty well-rounded, decent person. Okay. So, I thought, I would think that any person would be glad to have me as their son. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, even when I do business and I talk to people, and I use patience and logic and compassion with them, and they're like, man, you're a great guy. I'm glad you was able to handle this situation for me. And it doesn't matter what color they are. I treat everyone the same. But it's like people don't even know me, and they don't know me personally, but they think I'm just such a good person, okay? Just from talking, just from the way I deal with them, okay? So, and they want to pray for me. And they's like, I want to pray for you. I want the best for your life. You're just such a great person. So it hurts me that I don't love my mother. And it also hurts me when I when I hear someone else interacting with their mom, and they have a conversation. They're like, I just got off the phone with my mom, and that hurts, because I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what that's like. So it's not something that I'm proud of, but it's just the way I feel, because over the years, like when I was growing up, I never developed a relationship with my mother. Okay, and our relationship was very strained because of some of the things that was going on, between us. She left me and my sisters. We went into foster care. My dad wasn't around. I don't know anything about my dad. My mom wasn't even in the frame of mind to say, look, this young man needs his father. Okay, let me find his father. If I can't do anything else for him, let me find his father. My mom went to prison when I was like maybe in the 3rd or 4th grade. Okay. She never tried to take care of us. My grandmother took care of us. Even when she got back home from prison and moved out on her own, we just stayed with my grandmother. You know what I mean? So just looking back as a grown man and looking back at my childhood, I'm like, my mom just basically just put the responsibility of raising her children onto my grandmother, and that should have never happened. The situation with my father, my mom would tell me that I've never seen my dad. I don't even know what my dad looks like. Okay, and that I'll be 39 in November. Okay, so I don't even know what my dad looks like. So my mom would tell me, she would say, I have a picture of your dad. And I'm like 30 years old. I'm like, okay. I'm like, where's this picture? She's like, it's packed away somewhere. I'm like, so I'm almost 40. You have a picture of my father and you've never showed it to me. And I'm like, these are the types of conversations that I would have with her. And I know these things are not true. But to make a long story short, okay, this is the dynamic that we have in a lot of our family relationships. Like this is not uncommon for people, like whether it be males, females, to not like their mom. Like so when it's me and it's your friend down the street, or the friend that you grew up with, the friend that you go to school, one of your schoolmates or your classmates. These are common things. Like, no, I don't talk to my mom. I don't have a relationship with her. Okay, so I didn't have a relationship with my mother. I don't have a relationship with my father. Okay, so and this is a funny thing. Okay, let me kind of point this out real quick. I actually was contacted by the Maury Show. Okay, and this is the thing that we have to be careful about. Like, if anyone is going to profit off of your pain, it should be you. Okay, you should be like a motivational speaker or something like that. Don't allow other people to profit from your pain, and that's what we do. Your First 48, all these TV shows that people are dealing with grief and dealing with situations in their life, traumatic situations. I can guarantee that these people don't get therapy after, First 48 come in and investigate the murder of your family member or whatever and put you on TV. After that episode airs, they're gone. You don't have any more contact with them. But the Maury Show actually reached out to me, and this is why. Okay, I sent the Maury Show some information a while ago, probably like a few years ago. And what I did was I asked them to see if they had the resources to help me find my father. Okay. I wrote them this heartfelt, long message. And I just said, look, I don't want to be on the show. All I would like to do is maybe if you can point me in the right direction or give me some resource. Now, this is when like the internet wasn't really popular. Now I could just go search myself. I can pretty much, if I wanted to find him, I probably could. Okay. but I have very limited information. But if I really wanted to, if I searched diligently, I could probably find them. But long story short, sent them a message. They didn't even respond. Okay. So what I did is I conducted an experiment. I made up this wild, crazy story. It wasn't even that long. It was just short, like a paragraph. Okay. Put in some bad grammar. Made up this crazy story about, my wife's sister is pregnant, and she has a 2-year-old daughter that looks like me. I want to know if the child is mine. Made up some crazy story. They called me back right away. Okay. So they wouldn't call me back. They wouldn't even send me a return message. And I'm, just looking for resources. Like, even if they couldn't help me look for my father, they could have at least responded and says, look, Rick, we don't do that thing here. We don't do that type of thing here. Here's a phone number. Maybe you should reach out to them, or here's a resource. Maybe they can help you find your father. They didn't even respond, but I made some wild story about me cheating on my wife with her sister and the baby may be mine. Oh, they jumped on that right away. So, we got to be careful with these TV shows. Maury all the time talking about he want to help people, and he's all compassionate when the baby's not the guy's baby, and he want, we're gonna help you. No, you're not. You're gonna help get the ratings for the next show. Okay, so we have to be careful from allowing other people to profit from our pain. And then what I want to talk about real quick is I just want to point out. Again, and this is how I think. Okay, this is me just being a thinking person. This is me just not being a religious person. This is me. Okay, and this is something that's very difficult to talk about as a man. Okay, sexual abuse. Okay, when I was in a foster home, I was molested. Okay, by another man. Okay, and I found out years later it happened to some other people too, by the same person. Okay, this person's still alive. I haven't been back to Alabama in such a very long time, and the reason why I'm being open about this is because I'm not angry about it. And I had a conversation with a friend, and I said, look, I haven't had a chance to talk to some of the other people, so I don't want to put their information in this stream without reaching out to them first and getting their okay to put their business out there. So I'm just gonna say this anonymous person was angry about it. Okay. And I said, look, don't make a scene, don't be in, because they've seen this person. Okay. They have ran into this person face to face. Okay. This happened when we were children. Okay. So I say, you know what? To me, I'm not angry about it, and it's not because don't get your mind all crazy and thinking I enjoyed the situation or anything like that. It's just that because I like to reflect and I like to think and I like to do things that's helpful to us. Okay, so I was like, you know what? I would have a conversation with the guy. Okay, and the reason why I would have a conversation with him is because I would want to ask him, one, why did he do it? Okay, I joke a lot about graduating from Job Corps, and people think I'm an idiot. Okay, but I'm actually not. Okay, I attended Arizona State for a while. Almost finished my a bachelor's degree in psychology or whatever. So I have a little education. Okay, so I'm not a complete moron. Okay, so but I do think a lot. Okay, so I told this anonymous person, I said, look, I would like to talk to the guy. Okay. And because I want to know, why did he do it? Okay. I would also like to maybe have a conversation with him for him to be comfortable enough to open up to me and tell me who did it to him. Okay. And also tell me who else he did it to, because this happened in a foster home. So there were children coming in and out of this home. Okay, so if I was victimized, I'm pretty sure children after me was victimized by this person. So I would want to see how far that web goes, because these people who these other people who he has victimized, they actually need help. They need therapy. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about, how we just can't sprinkle Jesus on our problems. We just can't sprinkle Jesus on our issues and hoping that they will just go away and that they'll just get better with time. No, they resurface. Now, you may be going good with your life and things might be going well, but these issues, if they go unaddressed, they will surface at some point in time. Okay, so I just indicated to this person that I would actually talk to the guy, okay, because I would just want to, it would be more helpful for me to talk and have a conversation with him to find out who else are victims of this situation, okay, so that they can get some therapy, so that they themselves don't become abusers. Because a lot of times I wrote a paper back in when I was at Arizona State. I did a research paper on the psychological effects of sexual abuse, okay, as a result of this situation happening to me. And in my research, I found that a lot of the times when you are a victim of sexual abuse, if you don't get any therapy, you are more than likely to become an abuser yourself. Okay, and that's with any type of abuse. That's physical abuse, emotional abuse, any type. Hurt people. We all know that. So that's what I would want. Okay, rather than beat the guy up or try to hurt the guy or something like that, I would just try to have a conversation with him. Now, if it happened to my son, that'd be a different outcome. It'd be a different situation. Okay, so but that's my thinking with that. Okay, so and the reason why I point this out is hopefully it will give someone the strength, it will give someone the courage who has been hurt, because I've spoken to many people. Okay, many people have opened up to me about situations that have happened to them that's related to sexual abuse. Also, it's not just a problem with guys, men abusing men. It's also, I was just talking to a friend the other day, young boys being abused by older women. Okay, that's a situation, and we don't think about that. We're like, oh, it's a boy, it's a woman. It's still wrong. It still traumatizes that individual. It still can cause issues in that person's life later, even though it was a woman with a man. Like that's still a child. You are exposing that child to something way before that child is able to comprehend what's going on. So let me just take a moment, man. Let me just go into the chat, because I just been running my mouth and I ain't been paying attention to what nobody's saying in the chat, man. How you doing, Queen Riri? Lee Sean, man, what's going on, man? Sonia Garland, okay, all right. Tim Thomas, what's up? Patience, how you doing? Kevin, Allen, Mr. Mac, okay. Let me see. Let me just get up here real quick. Enlighten one, how's it going? All right, so because let's see, Andre, all right, so. Let me go to my Facebook tag. I be neglecting the Facebook crowd, man. So they don't get no love. I'm sorry, y'all, man. We ain't got Josh tonight, so I gotta manipulate all this stuff myself, man. So y'all just bear with me real quick. I just want to kind of go into the Facebook chat, and I kind of want to slow down because I don't want to rush through this information, man. Let's see. Let me see how y'all doing on Facebook over here. They shut the page down for a minute. It came back up, so that's good. How you doing, Brenda? Let's see. All right. Yep, Tim. That's all they want to do, man. Is repent and sprinkle Jesus on it, man. All right. Okay. Somebody said, what's going on, William? All right, Lee Sean. All right, Lee Sean, man. All right, what's going on, man? Let me see who else in here. Nick. Man, Lee Sean be holding down both chats. Sylvester, man, how you doing? Wilson. And man, y'all share this video, man. Just because of the information. It's not for my popularity, believe me. Like, I don't want to talk about some of this stuff. Like, a lot of the stuff that I talk about, dude, like, I could, man, sometimes I just want to crawl back under my rock and delete my YouTube, delete my Facebook, where nobody even knows who I am. So, I mean, yeah, so this is not for my popularity, man, but I'm just like, I just want to help. I'm a real person, and I'm gonna talk about real things, and I'm gonna say what's real, and that's it. So again, I just want to say this, okay? When we start talking about, like, let's get on this Bible real quick, because this is what the page is about, okay? And again, we gonna touch on prayer. I ain't forgot about the topic, okay? Let's talk about the Bible real quick. This is what I was thinking about. With the book being inspired, okay? The Bible is the inspired word of God, okay? Because most people look at themselves as God, okay? So ye are gods, okay? Ye are the sons of God, or whatever, okay? So ye are gods. So if you are God, anything that you write would be inspired by God, okay? Also, just think about it. There's a literary work called As a Man Thinketh, okay? So let's say the biblical God does exist. Who's to say what's inspired? Just because someone told you something was inspired by God, it's inspired, okay? We, again, just like I touched on when I talked about you being the source, like, we are the source of everything, okay? No matter what your educational level is, no matter where you went to school, no matter, if you didn't go to school or not, you are capable of great things. Okay, so when we talk about inspiration, as a man thinking, like, if you've read that or if you've listened to that on YouTube, like, dude, James Allen, man is made and unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools by which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy, strength, and peace. That's from As a Man Thinketh. Like, if you just listen to that, or if you go through and read that, dude is going in on some profound things about the power of thinking, the power of thought, okay? So you mean to tell me there's these ridiculous stories in the Bible? There's a story about a man talking to a donkey and whatever, Balaam in his ass or whatever. But As a Man Thinketh, it's not in the Bible, or it's not a part of the Bible. Like, if you were to take bits and pieces of As a Man Thinketh, insert it into the Bible, give it some first 6 chapter of Ephesians, whatever, just give it some chapter and verse, you would think it was from God. You would think it was part of this unholy book. I'm not gonna give it any respect, okay? So you would think, like, because the thoughts and what this dude is writing about is so profound, you would think that it came from some heavenly being, okay? Tupac, the way he was able to resonate with the things that he wrote about, like, his words touched your everyday life. It touched your soul. It touched your feelings, your emotions. Inspired. He wrote that. So, like, I just listened to Jamar's album 9, man, like, dude is just dropping, like, bombs, dude. Like, that's not inspired. Like, who's to say that's not inspired? That's the word of God. Anything that you write would be the word of God. Okay, so let me make another point with you real quick, okay? All right, about, let's see. Check this out with the Bible, right? It's me thinking again. Okay, for y'all who like for me to look scholarly, okay. All right, so listen, your kid writes a letter, okay, and I'm just being silly, man. I'll take the glasses off. Let's say your kid writes a letter. He's in the 2nd grade. He writes a letter, signs your name on it, and say you wrote the letter. So he gives it to his teacher, okay. Teacher reads the letter, doesn't really pay attention to it, just sees that you signed it and takes the letter. I'm not really going to say what the letter is about. Let's just say it's about anything. Okay, maybe it's about his behavior in class. Okay, so he writes a letter himself because he don't want you to know that he's been misbehaving in class. Teacher says, look, your parent needs to write this letter or whatever. So he writes the letter, signs it, turns it in to his teacher. His teacher reads the letter. She don't pay attention to the sentence structure. She doesn't pay attention. Like, if she would have just paid a little bit of attention, it's obvious that you, a grown adult person, didn't write this letter. Okay, the articulation, because I know how y'all like some of y'all like big words. The articulation is off. Everything is off. Like the grammar, everything. Okay. is off in this letter. Okay, so when the Bible is the same way, okay, all you got to do is pay attention to what's written in this book, and you would understand that it couldn't have possibly come from an all-knowing creator of the universe. Because the things that's written in it, why would a God care about these things? Okay, it's clearly, in your mind, it should be clear that the things that's written in this book, only a man would care about. Okay, when it tells you that you can go pillage, kill all the people, take the land, leave the virgins for yourself. Okay, that's obvious that God didn't write that, man. That didn't come from a God. Like, so the God's gonna just reward you? It didn't come from a God. Okay, so I mean, you can think that it did, but you gotta use your common sense. Okay, I'll make another quick point with you. If I had a plan, okay, this is God's plan. Everything that happened in this book is God's plan. Okay, but some of the things that occurred in this book, if that was your plan, like if we had to accomplish a mission, and you said, look, this is the plan. You look at the details of the plan, you're like, dude, that's a horrible plan. I write a plan out that's going to cause you to go into slavery for over 400 years. Okay, the people didn't do anything to go into slavery, and it took the God over 400 years to get them out of slavery. They didn't do anything to go into slavery. They didn't do anything to go out to get out of slavery. He just woke up one day and be like, okay, it's time for them to come out of slavery, so now I'm going to deliver them. Okay, so that doesn't make sense. If I developed a plan that's going to cause you to live your life in slavery, so your children's children is going to be in slavery, you will be like, Rick, that's a horrible plan, bro. I'm not with that plan. But everything in this book that your God planned out is a good plan, and we just have to be honest. Okay. All right, so let me kind of go back into the chat and see what's going on, and then I'll kind of press on some other points here. Let's see what we got going on, man. Queen, Kevin is still resting, man. He's still getting better. I think I'm way up in the chat. Okay, all right. Man, that was like 30 minutes ago. My bad. All right, so yeah, man, what's going on? Hey, Rue, man, how you doing? Sue Tech. All right, Sarah from Germany. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Let me see. Queen, thank you. I'm trying to be. After slavery came lynchings. Okay, yeah, man. I'm not even talking about like chattel slavery. I'm talking about the so-called bondage, in Egypt that supposedly took place. So. That's what we talking about. But yeah, so I'm gonna give me a moment. I don't want to neglect my people on Facebook. Let me see what's going on. All right, man. Lee Shun just handling both chats, man. He on it. All right, JD, man, how you doing, brother? Thanks for coming in. Everett, how you doing? All right, so we got the people here. All right, so we're gonna continue. Let me go back to my information here. All right, so quickly, I just want to say parents, because I was talking about relationships earlier with your parents. When you have a relationship that's strained with your child, it's not up to the child to repair that relationship, okay? It's not up to the child to initiate repairing that relationship, okay? Now, follow me now. Especially when you haven't done everything as a parent that you were supposed to do, okay? And this is what I'm talking about, okay? Because society, religion has programmed parents to think, oh, you respect your parents. Oh, I brought you into the world, okay? So because you have brought me into the world, and in some situations, we bring our kids into the world and we set them up for failure. Okay, so you brought this child into the world and set them up for failure, and now they supposed to owe you all the honor and admiration and respect. I'm like, that's illogical. Okay, but when you bring a child into the world, you have their situation planned out. And I'm not like, please, I'm not barring down on any parents or things happen. You take care of your children the best way you can. Okay, I get it. But like when you plan their life out before they're even born, like, okay, now is the right time. And people say there's never a right time to do anything. Okay, but you have children, you stable, you and your wife doing good or whatever, you and your girlfriend, and you decide to, you want to have a child. So you try to bring them into the best situation possible, okay? And you raise them up, you give them what they need. And I'm not saying give them everything that they want, but you spend time with them. You raise them up, you give them the development that they need, okay? Another thing is Then I can understand you thinking that child owes you, okay, because you've done everything that you're supposed to do as a parent. But like when you bring a child into a pretty a situation where they're like they don't really have a chance. I'm talking about, especially being black in America. They like trying to figure it out. Like you brought them into the world for you to figure it out and for them to figure it out. So, and again, because we are in situations where we're dealing with constant untreated trauma, we bring a child into this situation. Like even when young couples get together, they don't really understand each other. Okay, she don't understand he don't understand what she been through, and she don't understand what he's been through. Okay, so but even when they are in religion, they might go to marriage counseling, and because they come to church every Sunday and they seem pretty normal, the preacher give his blessing or whatever, okay? When they don't know you, okay? The church and your preacher don't know you, okay? To give you advice if you should be married or not, okay? And then, because of religion, we have some of these religions where people don't even they're not even intimate, they don't even live together before they decide to get married and start having children. They just, you come to church every Sunday, you faithful, get married, okay? They get married, they find out, boy, they can't stand this person, okay? And then they got to live a life of misery because they're dedicated to their religion. And this book tells you can't get a divorce, depending on what you believe, okay? But it also has people stuck in relationships because however you interpret the book, whatever denomination you believe in, says you can't get a divorce. You can get a divorce, but you can't marry nobody else unless the person you married to dies or they cheat on you or do something crazy. You see what I'm saying? So you can't really get a divorce. So you stuck with the person. You live a life of misery trying to obey this nonsense book. Okay? But my whole point is, parents, your children don't owe you anything. Okay? And if there's a situation where your relationship is damaged, you have to look at the role that you played in damaging that relationship. Why is that relationship damaged? The situation with my mother, I had to look back in her past. Okay. I did have a conversation with my mother. Let me kind of, while I'm touching on this, when I was in my 20s, okay, despite all the things that happened to me in my youth, and the relationship with my mother was very strained, okay. When I became a man, I had a conversation with my mother. I said, look, I'm a grown man now, okay. I'm not upset about anything that happened in the past, okay? The foster homes, all of that stuff, I'm not worried about it. I'm a grown man now. I'm in control of my own destiny, okay? I forgive you for everything that happened, okay? If you want a relationship with me, I'm open. I'm willing. She cried on the phone. I thought I had made a breakthrough with her, and I thought we was going to establish, a relationship. And never 6 years later I didn't hear from her, so but I at least tried, okay? So from this point on, like, it's not on me to keep trying to open that door. You see what I'm saying? So as a parent, when you haven't done what you're supposed to do and you lacking, man, you got to step down off of your high horse and be like, man, I need to reach out to my child. My child is hurting. They're in pain. I know they said a lot of things and did a lot of things, but I didn't. You got to be honest with yourself and say that you wasn't the best parent. Okay, and then sometimes that's difficult to do, but it's not. I don't think it's now. This is just my opinion. If you disagree, put it in the chat. I just don't think as a parent you should be looking for your young child who doesn't have the wisdom and the understanding that you should have to reach out to you to mend a broken relationship. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to attempt to be brave, okay? And I'm going to put up this picture right here real quick, okay? Now I'm going to start getting into this message, man, about prayer. Not fixing anything, okay? Because this right here, this is sick, okay? And I'm going to put this picture up. And while I talk about this, I'm going to kind of leave this picture up here real quick, okay? If I can get it up. Okay, there you go. All right, so it's coming in. I saw this video on Facebook. This went viral. Okay. This young man, I guess, stopped this lady on the street, and I don't know if he brought her something to eat. I don't know all of the details of the story, but I do know he stood there and he prayed for her. Okay. This is not a praying situation, man. I always say praying is very lazy. It's the laziest thing that you can do for somebody. Getting involved in the person's life, whoo, that's it right there. That's it. Do you want to do that? Okay. But your Jesus said, lay down your life. Not Jesus. Paul said, lay down your life for your brother. Jesus also said, he says, if you lose your life for my name's sake, you shall find it, right? And that's what he says. He say, lose your life. He said, if you find your life, you lose it. But if you lose your life, you find it. Okay, so nobody's losing their life for you. No one's losing their life. Joe Osteen is not losing his life. Creflo Dollar is not losing his life for you. Okay, so nobody follows the book except for when it comes time to give money. That's the only time they want to follow it. Okay, so this situation right here, this is not a praying situation. This is a situation where if you have an extra room in your house, okay, you talk to this young lady and you say, look, I have an extra room in my house. I know you don't trust guys. I know it. I know. I know people have lied to you. People have hurt you. But listen, test this out, okay? I have an extra room. I'm not gonna charge you no rent. No funny business. Okay, because you're a woman, okay, I just want you to be good. I'm gonna give you a place to stay. You know, I got a few rules. As long as you're okay with those rules, I'm gonna give you time to get yourself together. I'm gonna help you find a job. You know, get you together. You know, if you on drugs, you know, we're gonna get you some help with that. But like you gotta be willing to go through that pain. Again, like with prayer, there's some work you gotta do. Okay, so if you want to get off the streets, if you want to get off these drugs, I know you probably got some type of dependency. But if you willing to sweat it out, if you willing to roll around in the bed, okay, I'll help you. Okay, but this is not a praying situation. Okay, so if you're gonna buy the person something to eat, and you just gonna give her a sandwich or whatever, and give her the sandwich and go on about your business. Say, look, I just want to make sure you eat today, sister. Here's a couple dollars. You know, go about your business, man. But this praying is not gonna work. Pray for her and then let her move in the house with you. Okay, do that. Okay, if you're gonna do something. Okay. Again, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this picture down. Also, I saw a video of a couple buying a young man some clothes or some shoes or something like that, man. Like, why we always gotta do good deeds and then post it on social media? I'm like, if you are going to do a good deed, okay, just do a good deed. Like I know Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Christmas is coming up. People are gonna post their annual turkey giveaways. Like, if you want to post a video about the giveaway so people can know where to come and get the turkeys, that's fine. But why you gotta put on this spectacle about giving back to the community? Just give back to the community, man. Like, if you want to put the information out, put the information out. But why does it always have to be a photo op or a video shoot when you doing something nice? But what about when they eat the turkey? What they gonna do then? Okay, they still gonna be broke and they still gonna be poor, man. So if you're not willing to do something, some real sacrifice, just leave these situations alone, man. Don't buy no kid no school shoes and do something pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm getting hyped, okay? Do something like shameful and put a video up about it on YouTube, man. Like that's for some, man, I'm trying to stay clean. For some likes and some shares, man. That's awful. Okay, I'm not saying everybody who has done it with malice and intent. Why? Just do it. I don't know. I think your book says something about when you give, don't sound the alarm or something like that. Like, we all Christians, but we don't know our own dang book. It said when you give, just don't sound the alarm when you give something. Just do it. Okay, so man, I help people all the time. I don't go around bragging about how many people I done helped, man. Like, this is despicable, man. And then people view the video, oh, thank God. No, I bet you that lady's still on the street. Maybe not, but man, I'm telling you, like, that is despicable, man. Just don't do that. All right, so now I'm gonna get into the book real quick. Talk a little bit about prayer, man, and we're gonna get out of here, man, because we over an hour. If we're gonna continue to be the way that we are, I was listening to many bodies during the course of the week, and I had already wrote that if this is how we gonna be on earth, I don't want to come back here, dude. Like, when I'm gone, man, when my energy leave this body, man, or whatever, man, I don't want to come back. Like I can understand now why Tupac said his only fear of death is coming back reincarnated. Like, if I get reincarnated, I want to be like some bacteria or something so I can make you sick. Like, I don't want to come back. Like, I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back black, white, and I don't want to come back. If they try to send me back, I'll be like, no, don't send me. But yeah, man, like, if we gonna continue conducting ourselves like we do, like, I just don't want to come back, man. Like, I just don't. I want to stay where I'm at, man, because like but in the song Many Bodies, man, he said that he see clear. Okay, he looking at the world and he see clear, so you should understand why he don't want to be here. Like, when you truly have your eyes open, man, and you truly can see this world for what it is, man, it's a hard place to live in, man, especially for people like me. But let's talk real quick about prayer, and then also I'm just going to point out something here in this book. Man, I caught something today, man. It just like made my head spin. Okay, so the only miracle of God, and I know some people gonna get upset with me right now. The only miracle of God, this is the miracle, okay? When $1,000 disappear out of your bank account and reappear into the preacher's bank account, that's the miracle of God, okay? So, prayer. Okay, so a lot of people don't even understand what their book even says about prayer. Okay, William Jones did a video not too long ago. He pointed out the scripture in there that says, "Now we know that God heareth not prayer, the prayers of a sinner." I think it's John 9:31, something like that. So 9th chapter of John, read it if you haven't read it. Okay, just one chapter. Okay, 9th chapter of John, I think it's 9:31. He says, "Now we know God heareth not the prayers of a sinner, but any man that doeth his will, that worship him and doeth his any man that doeth his will and worship him," something like that, "him he heareth." Okay, so if you looking at that in another version of another one of the 40 versions of the Bible, probably says something a little bit different. Okay, but that's the gist of what it's saying. Now, what I want to kind of point out is the first couple of words in that verse. He says, "Now we know." So when you having a conversation with someone and they be like, "Man, now you know," now you know. Okay, so this dude said back in like 2 AD or whatever this nonsense supposedly took place. He's like, now you know God heareth not the prayers of a sinner. Okay, so it's like this is known. It's known. Okay, so if God can't hear the prayers of a sinner, and over in Proverbs, man, I don't have the book in the verse, but it says if you turn away your ear from the law, he says that your prayer shall be an abomination. In Isaiah 59, 1 and 2, he says, your iniquities have separated between you and your God, so that he cannot hear you. You know what I mean? So he turned his face from you. You see what I'm saying? So God just be like, man, you sinning. Get away from me. So, but God is merciful and he's forgiveful. So, it says in the Old Testament, it says in the New Testament, God don't hear sinners. So how are you able to pray if God can't hear your sins? Okay, so I already know the doctrinal discussion regarding this. I'm just making a point. So if you can't pray your sins away, how are you going to say the sinner's prayer? Okay, how are you going to accept Jesus into your heart as your Lord and personal Savior? Okay, so then it also says that when you pray, you don't even know what to pray for. So I'm like, if you don't know what to pray for, why are you praying? Okay, it says the Holy Spirit gives intercessions with groanings that can't be uttered, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you, if the Holy Spirit got to come in and tell God what you want? Like, this is just crazy, y'all. Like, come on, man. Like, this, like, if when you pray and if you don't get it, you pray amiss. So because you gonna consume it upon your lust. Like it gives every excuse in this book for when your prayer don't get answered, why your prayer didn't get answered. Okay, so again, we cannot continue to like use prayer and think that that's gonna solve our problems. We got tons of problems in the black community, and the reason why is because a lot of us are praying. A lot of us are dressing up in costumes, putting on costumes, trying to look like Bible characters as grown men. Okay? And if that applies, it applies. Okay? Thinking that these characters in this book, and I think that's what's going to be the conversation next week, identity crisis. Okay? Because we so lost that we just want to apply everything to us. Things that don't even apply to us. Okay? So, again, so prayer, it doesn't work, because if prayer did work, you should just be able to pray and go get back in the bed. That's it. You shouldn't have to do nothing else. Okay, your God is so powerful and so merciful. You should be able to pray and go get back in the bed. I said a while back in a video, I said, why can't God just download things to your consciousness just like they do in the Matrix? Like, you need to learn how to fight, you need to learn karate, you need to learn how to do whatever. They just type it in, boom, couple seconds later, you know how to, you're an expert in it. You see what I'm saying? But you, as a Bible believing Christian, you have to do everything that everybody else does to get the same thing. If you want to buy a house, you got to take care of your credit, down payment, get a loan or pay cash, whatever. You got to go through the same process. Okay? Nobody, you can't go in the bank and be like, you a Christian? Oh, you prayed up? Oh, man, sign your name right here. Loan approved. If you're prayed up, loan approved. Doesn't happen. Okay? So, don't talk to me about the power of prayer. Another thing that I want to talk about, and this kind of goes back to the trauma that we have to deal with. This is a true story, okay? And I've been getting a lot of true stories here lately. Give me a moment, man. Let me kind of reach out to some people in the chat and see what everybody's saying here. All right. Hey, prayer without works is dead. There you go. Okay, meaning it's the works that get you what you pray. There you go, Sonya. Exactly. That's why I said, pray and go get back in the bed. Like he said, pray, but you got to do something though. You see what I'm saying? Like, I always ask me, what did you do? Because whatever it is that you did solved your problem. Okay, what are you doing while you're waiting on God? Okay, because maybe what you're doing is solving your problem. Okay, so it just a bunch of nonsense, man. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know if you new to the show, the GWC, but man, I'm not the whispering type, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing whispering about me. Even if I tried to whisper, boy, my subconscious is not in the whispering mood, man. I don't whisper. All right, so let's get here. I'm sorry, my microphone is right there, so it might be a little loud. You might have to turn that volume down on your computer or your phone. Okay, so all right, so check it out. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on this real quick, and I'm gonna make some sense with y'all real quick, man, and I'm gonna get up out of here, man. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming in. I want to thank everyone for continuing to support the channel. I know I say some things that ruffle people's feathers. I don't try to. I just need to. We just if we're gonna do anything, y'all, like seriously, we need to stop complaining. Okay. If we're not going to do anything to if we just going to be comfortable, like we talk about white supremacy all day. We talk about change all day. We talk about things we need to do this, we need to do that. But like when it comes time to do it, when it comes time to show and prove, you know, we show how comfortable we are. Okay. So we just I ain't trying to shame nobody or nothing like that, but we just got to get out of those comfort zones. Okay, so I'm gonna make a couple more points, man, and I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna talk about Paul real quick. Okay, all right, check this out. Okay, so well, I'm gonna make another point before I go into Paul, but this is important. Okay, when you have a court case, okay, and in this court case, like let's say there was some evidence that didn't get shared or was tampered with. The prosecution kept some evidence away from the defense, blah, 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 whatever. And it's discovered later, okay? What happens to the court case? The court case gets thrown out. Like, we worried about going to hell. This book's been tampered with. Like, first of all, it's not true anyway, okay? But even if it was true, man, it's been tampered with, it's been altered, it's been changed. Man, like you stand before God at the day of judgment, which ain't never gonna happen, man. You should be able to easily represent yourself and beat the case. Okay, very simple. Okay, so let me give you a quick example with Saul, whatever his name was. Okay. I'm gonna make this point with you, and if this doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what else will. Okay, Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament, supposedly these are letters. Again, I just talked about letters. People writing letters. Okay, epistles, letters. Paul wrote most of these epistles. Okay, and this is the crazy thing. Okay, but before. He didn't understand, like he was supposedly an expert in the law because he was taught by another expert in the law, Gamaliel. Okay, it says this in the book of Acts. It says Paul learned at the feet of Gamaliel, okay, who was an expert in the law. Okay, so in Jeremiah, in the chapter 31, it's written that God says, I will give my people a new covenant. Okay, so it's telling you in Jeremiah 31 that the covenant is going to change over. Okay, stay with me. Okay, so Paul was killing Christians. Saul was killing Christians. Okay, it says that he was consenting to the death of Stephen. They stoned Stephen. You know what I'm saying? So he was consenting to his death. So Paul was killing Christians. So it was so bad that Jesus had to come down. Okay, Jesus sitting on the right hand of God. He about to leave, and God like, yo, Jesus, where you going? Man, I gotta go talk to Saul. Paul, I'm gonna change his name to Paul. I gotta go talk to Saul because he down here killing people. He down here killing my people. He down here killing Christians. So, okay, a person who had expert knowledge in the law was confused. Okay, you're not supposed to be confused. Okay. Paul didn't understand the law well enough to know that Jesus was going to come, that the scriptures foretold of the coming of the Messiah to the point that he was killing Christians. So let me make another point with you. Paul was a murderer, or he was complicit in murder. Jesus came down to talk to a murderer. Okay, God was constantly talking to murderers, but God can't talk to you. You're confused. Just think about this now. You're confused. You never killed anyone. Okay, but God, Jesus, takes the time to come down in person and talk to a murderer and gives this person who's confused, who is an expert in his word, clarification, and gives him direction and guidance as to what he is supposed to do. Okay, so he can talk to. So an expert in the law is not supposed to be confusing. This let me point out another thing about Jeremiah 31. Okay, let me point out one more thing here. Okay, Jeremiah 31, man. It says, "Let every man teach no more to his neighbor or to his brother, because I'm gonna write the word in their heart and in their inward parts," whatever that means. Okay, he said he's gonna put his word in you till no man has to teach anymore. Why we got Bibles, why we got teachers, and why we got churches? Because he said he gonna write. Maybe somebody gonna be like, you don't understand, taking out of context. Dude, he said he gonna write. He gonna give them a new covenant. No man needs to teach it to you. He gonna write it in your heart. Okay, your sins shall be remembered no more. And then check this out. Paul in Hebrews, he was confused on the law though. He didn't know that Jesus was the Son of God. Okay. In Hebrews, he quotes the same verse in Jeremiah 31. I'm like, come on, man. Like, the only reason why people believe in this stuff, I believed in it, but once I start putting things together, I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. Okay. So Paul was an expert in the law, wrote most of the wrote most of the New Testament, supposedly, was confused. You're not supposed to be confused, but you ain't never killed nobody. You haven't done half of the things that most of these men in the Bible did. God can come down, or Jesus can come down and clarify and straighten up this person's confusion, but he loves you so much and he wants you to make it. He wants you to go to heaven, but he can't clarify when you are confused. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. Okay, and then he talking about suffering for my name's sake. Like, if my son came to me and says that, Dad, I'm gonna die for your name's sake, I'll be like, no, the hell you ain't. You're not dying for me. Like, you're not suffering for my name's sake. I would never want anybody to suffer for my name's sake. Okay, like, all of this is just sickness, y'all. Okay, so prayer doesn't help. It's lazy. If you're gonna do anything, get involved in somebody's life. We don't need prayer. We need action. Okay, action is gonna beat prayer all day. It's just like when people say, put your money where your mouth is. Talk is cheap. Okay, so anything that you're gonna do, you gotta do it. The church doesn't believe in this nonsense. They tell it to you, but they don't believe in it. Like I've said many times, the only waiting on God and the only praying that they gonna do is telling you to reach inside your purse, to reach inside your pocketbook, or get on that app that they have available for you to give that money. And that's the only time. The time that it takes for them funds to be electronically debited from your account and electronically deposited into their account, that's the only waiting on God that they're gonna do. Okay. All right. So family, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I do thank you for tuning in. Okay. So give me one quick moment. What's up? Bro, out. That's gonna wait. Okay? All right, I'll be out. Parenting issues, y'all. Okay, all right. All right, so again, family, want to thank you guys for supporting the channel. Okay, continuing to support Kev. Again, I'm just gonna highlight real quick. Cashapp, Kevin, $ Kevin D Wesley 1. The raffle is still going on until October 31st. Get your tickets. $5 to get you one. $10 to get you 3 entries into the raffle. BD Evolution. We got gear. Anitra Ray Dotson. Reach out to that sister on earthheartglobal.com. Andre Boyce is in the chat. He got the God is good, money is better, shirts and a whole lot of other merchandise. So reach out to him. Again, my channel is begging the number 4. Change, of course, Ricky Swink on Facebook. again, want to just thank everybody for tuning in, for your time and for your energy, and for continuing to support the channel as our brother gets better. I don't know what the topic is going to be for next week. If anybody has any suggestions, leave them in the chat, or just send me a inbox message. I got a few things kind of lined up already, but if our brother is not ready to go, I'll definitely be here to step in. Just want to say good night to everyone. As Kevin always says, a candle does not lose its flame by lighting another. And as I always say, the only gods that we need is each other, and the only God that I need is you. All right, peace out.